I'll open the Hampden Conservation Commission meeting. We have a quorum.
Date?
Today is
18.
12/18 at 6 p.m. Okay, first on agenda is Park and Rec.
Yeah, so.
State your name and
Yeah, sure.
the project.
Blanchard, Parks and Rec Director for Hampden. I'm kind of here on like an information gathering mission, I guess is the word. The Parks and Rec Commission has been talking about some projects at Memorial Park. And obviously this is some wetlands and conservation area. And I need to figure out feasibility of projects there. And before we spend, the main goal for me is to try to figure out what's feasible without spending major dollars on engineering and or planning and or any kind of engineering or planning for a project like that. I've never done a project involving the Conservation Commission or anything like that, so I really am a newbie to this and I'm looking for your guidance. So I'm just kind of here to figure out and learn about the process for doing a potential project at Memorial Park. I have an overview of Google Earth to talk about some of the projects that we're talking about. It's not just pickleball / basketball courts, but there's a bridge that needs repair there, possibly over the brook, and also some shade structures for the splash pad.
And there's no option on this computer for co-host, it's host only.
I think I can ask to share my screen, John, with
I
you.
mean, it's odd, usually I can make you co-host and, yeah,
So I think,
okay.
I think the way we did it in the past, whoever just made him.
Yeah, we just
them
did
the
that.
host.
And before he leaves, he has to turn it back.
Right.
Yeah.
so I think all that's. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so I'll do as well as I can with what we have here. And really, you know, the Parks and Rec have been, the commission and I have been discussing some potential projects at Memorial Park. The basketball court here, which is located right along the brook, which is about 15 feet from the brook, is a pad that is 51 by 29 feet, which is not currently enough to house a full pickleball court. Our initial project was to potentially expand that pad to make it a full-size pickleball court that would house a pickleball court and half a basketball court. We'd like to get a real court in there that would be a dual sport court, so we could have some more use there for the summer program and anybody going to the park. And this is where the fact finding comes in. Like, I really don't know what it would take to expand this 9 feet either way. What we would need is 9 feet really either direction in order to do that. So that's one project we've been talking about. There's other locations that we've discussed about for a pickleball court. There's a space over here for, I should rephrase this, but a court for pickleball, really the minimum space you would need is 60 feet by 30 feet. That's the minimum space. The recommended is 65 by 35. The play court dimensions are 44 by 20, but given that this one is, I understand this is a pre-existing structure, so that makes things a little bit easier. But, you know, we're open to other ideas and other discussions with you guys. And that's kind of why I'm here on a bit of a fact-finding mission, mostly about the process for me, because I haven't done it, about the notice of determination, the notice of intent. I need to kind of figure out what I need to do in order to take the next step on these projects. So another idea is to put it over here on the right side, leading up to the Raw building. We have plenty, there's space here for this is where the shuffleboard courts are currently. There's 2 of them there that get 0 use. And this is about 70 feet from the brook, which runs right along here. And this is about 70 feet from the brook. You know, once we got talking about that, we said, well, we could open up this space here a little bit further from the brook, maybe less environmental impact. There's more space here. There are other considerations here. There's a wellhead in this space here as well. So, but there's definitely more space for maybe a full pickleball court by itself and or half a basketball court there. And then the last spot that we were kind of analyzing was this. This is a very flat, this trapezoid here is a very flat space right here. I just kind of sectioned that off because this is where the hill kind of goes up in this area right here. So there'd be space for parking back here. There would be, it's a tight road that would run along the right field fence. I drove my truck back there the other day, so there is space there and then a parking pad here, and we could put courts out here as well. So I'm really here, I mean, that's just kind of talking about the projects that we are considering. These would be the umbrellas, the shade structure umbrellas that we were considering for the splash pad. And they are generally a single post with a concrete footing into the ground for those structures. I don't have these are whatever they are from, let's see here, from the brook, probably closest is about 100 or, let's see here, 100. Yeah, so the closest spot looks like it's about 100. And of course, this is just on Google Earth, so it's not super accurate, but about 100 feet from the brook. And then the last one is the closest one is this footbridge that extends from the fields across here. It's about, I believe it's like 14 feet by about 4 feet wide. And this is sort of eroding into the brook. There's no steel girder that runs underneath it. I inspected it a couple weeks ago. And so this is something that is going to be a safety issue that's going to have to be addressed. But before I contact any bridge engineers or anything like that, it's kind of why I'm here about all of these things, to just learn about the process of doing a project with you guys inside a conservation land and what I need to do, what would be my first steps before I spend any money on engineering or planning or anything like that. So that's kind of the overview of what we've been discussing. And I'm just kind of here to learn about, to have you guys tell me, what do you think I should do for my next steps in order to proceed with this project or a project in one of these areas here?
Well, there are some considerations. Generally, there's a no disturb zone from the water. However, some stuff is grandfathered in. So my question is, where's the best place for this pickleball court that everyone has decided this is the spot?
And that's a great question. So, originally the thought was to go right over the existing pad that was there because it would have the least impact. But when you look at it, this is the closest spot to the bridge. So
Yeah.
that may not be the best spot. And that's, I'm kind of here for guidance on that as well. Like, this is 70 feet from the brook down here. This would be about 70 feet from this pad to the brook. So, that of course is within the, 100 feet
There is 100 foot.
100 foot. So
That's already disturbed though. If there's actual disturbance, then it's just redevelopment.
so it is developed, but they are just two concrete pads. I don't have the dimensions on the shuffleboard pads, but like, what availability is there to expand that area minimally to do something like this? And then, this is probably the best area as far as least impact to conservation area, but it's probably the most difficult to do. So those are the things I'm trying to balance between the projects.
So if the conservation wasn't involved, which area would you choose?
If it was me, I would probably do two. I would do this one. I would do the existing basketball court. I would redo that and expand it. And I would also put a pickleball court right here next to the road.
Okay.
That's a great question, though.
Well, it's already disturbed if he lengthens that. Isn't that like gravel and stuff already?
Right here?
No, the other one, at the end of the basketball court.
Cement, I think.
Sorry, this one?
Yes,
This is asphalt.
but what's past it? The gravel. Isn't there gravel there?
This is grass, right? Basically, it leads right up to the grass. The
No,
problem is,
but this way.
The other end, that's the
this end is the mulch thing.
Mulch, okay.
That's the.
That's,
place.
it's already disturbed,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is the way that it would have to go, to be honest with you. I measured off 9 feet this direction and it almost leads into the corner, like the corner would almost touch the brook. So,
Oh.
when I went back over there, I said, looking at a Google Earth, but when you go there, actually the smarter play is to go this direction and possibly remove the,
I think so.
this is a fire structure.
Fire, yeah, that's right.
But, in talking more, it's also, we talked about just doing away with this court in general and expanding the the playground area and possibly doing a new playground area and putting a full court over here, designated pickleball court over here. So,
With the basketball court, right?
yeah.
I do like the idea of dual purpose. I've seen a lot of towns do that, and
Yeah,
the way it's taking off, one pickleball court might not be enough.
well, that's a great point. And that's why, like, in a perfect world, I would probably do a dual sport court on either one of these and leave one available for pickleball.
Is there room for expansion, as she had indicated, if there were to be, if that were the direction? And not where the basketball court is, but what are the other side? Would there be room for expansion?
There's, for this area, there's definitely,
Pickleball court. This, your second.
You go
Yeah, right there.
that, away from the brook with that one and double the court and have two.
here, you mean?
Yes.
No, it's not enough space. It's very tight there as it is for,
What's that paved area that I see?
Turnaround.
That's
that's the turnaround, which, I mean, technically you could probably do something with. You could possibly get two, we talked about that as well. You could probably get another court here as well along the side. That is a possibility. I mean, anything is open. These
How
are
many
just
feet
our,
Did you say 60 by what?
60. Yeah.
optimally, pickleball court would be, a full one would be 65 by 35. You can get away with 60 by 30.
Oh, okay.
And that's 70
park
feet
land
away
back
from the
there?
brook.
What's that?
Yeah.
That's all park land behind the.
This is,
baseball
so,
field?
yeah, good question. This is actually
It's 15.
a rough
Yeah, it's right.
of the property line.
I
So,
don't think.
Pad there.
here is the property line based on the GIS
No, I don't like.
is right here.
Oh, okay.
Curiously enough, and I don't know, I haven't done much research on this, but this looks like the town road, which could technically possibly go. I don't know, what that means for these poor people, but
Where is that?
you could
Oh.
technically look at putting the road, another access point to the park here and putting the
So
small parking lot here.
is it actually a paved road or is it?
This is not, so
Okay, it's just right.
this is
away.
just Colonial Village Circle
Yeah.
here, and it's nothing now.
Right.
And you look at this, the joke is, I used to be a surveyor, the joke is GIS stands for get it surveyed.
Yeah.
So you can't really go by these lines,
Right.
Right.
but
There's a house halfway or a garage halfway through.
that's why you can't go by the line.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this would all have to be surveyed and everything, but it's another interesting point. And like, when you look at the environmental impact, this is definitely the spot. Probably the hardest place to do the project. So,
I would think, Dan, and probably jumping in, as selectman, I would have a lot of concern about the neighbors seeing this new activity in their backyard. I
absolutely.
mean, when you look at that
Oh,
separation
yeah.
there. Yes, it's flat. I looked at it many years when I was president of RA. My wife was chairman of Park and Rec at the time.
Yep.
It was an area we were looking at developing, and what held us back was the neighbors. I think were Schwabi was back there at that time. Same thing. Is it intrusive to their backyard? If you were living there and something new came in, it's not facing your front, it's looking in your back.
I understand.
Yeah, right,
Is there
right.
anything, any chance at TWB where the old
Don't
tennis
people
courts
complain
were?
about the
So
noise?
TWB, we've kind of held back on TWB because we don't know the status of the
Right.
projects. So that is my dream would be if we move over there to have a master rec facility over there with a full tennis court. If you lay out a full tennis court, you can get 2 pickleball courts on each half.
Yeah.
So again, a multi-use court.
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
You saw the old pictures, it was 4 tennis courts there before the basketball court was there.
yeah, I haven't really seen those, John, to be honest with
You
you.
recall them. It was 4 tennis courts in a row down behind, basically where the basketball courts are now.
Yeah, that whole empty
That whole area.
I know where they were.
Yeah.
You know, to me, that would be the ideal area.
It is.
Like you say, and if Park and Rec is moving over there, oh my gosh, you're right there.
That's the master facility, and that's my dream for the town, for sure.
What would it take for the status to be known so you could look at that seriously? You said you weren't sure what the status.
To be confirmed that we're moving there.
Yeah, we're
Right,
not,
that's more in we've basically
I know.
convened a group to look at the municipal buildings as a whole. You know, this has been a process, just getting the building back from the school committee,
Right,
which has
you did
been
that.
done,
Yeah.
signed over. We actually have the building back on July 1st of 2025.
Yeah.
oh, nice.
Now, do we have a plan for how much it's gonna cost to move over there? What do we do with this building? And then the other needs we have. Many people, there are a lot of opinions. Should we move this? But in my mind, the easiest thing is to take this inconvenient structure we have here and go to a single floor, Dan triples his room area there for programs. Has access to the cafeteria, every municipal department is over there, and there's room for growth.
Right.
Yes.
Even if we talk about we only need 60% of the building, well, the reason we're talking about it is because we're so out of room here. You know, you don't move over for a 5-year plan. If you're gonna do this, you do it for 20. If you're putting an addition on your house, you're not doing it to hold it for 5 years. You're doing it something you can live with.
Yeah.
I think what Dan's talking about, looking at that, like, he would say, look, if everything being equal and I have my choice, that would be the choice.
Right, but I don't necessarily, I agree, like that would be my master plan, master rec facility, but that doesn't mean we can't,
Basketball court need to be done.
we can't do projects here. I mean, but this is like a joke. This is a dangerous basketball court, the way it's set up. So like people have already broken their ankles stepping off the pavement because the pavement doesn't go past the basketball hoop.
It is pretty dangerous. I bring my son there.
Yeah, so anyway, like there are
I
upgrades.
agree with you, upgrade the playground instead. Bridge, you talk about the old Girl Scout bridge.
Right, it was, yeah.
Put in Art Booth years ago, needs an upgrade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
well, it needs to
if
be,
it's just a repair, does that allow something to be done on top? Because it already is in there.
The bridge?
Yeah, it's already there,
That's the thing. So if you
Do you-
figure it as just a repair,
but does it need to be replaced or can?
no, just, I think, well, I gotta bring in a bridge engineer for that and
See that,
because I don't know.
that's the difference.
next on the agenda.
Are there existing tennis courts over Thornton Burgess?
There are not.
No.
So they,
A basketball court that is also unsafe over there.
Yeah.
So I'm like really trying to get to bring some,
because whether we move over there or not, it's still gonna be town property, right? Over there?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, yeah.
well, unless it gets sold or something drastic happens. But the other problem so when I first started, I looked at doing a master rec facility over at Thornton Burgess. Regardless, at that time, there was no talk about the building coming back to the town. There are 2 wellheads over there that are on public water supply, which also are hindrances to doing things there's a 200-foot radius around a public water supply wellhead and also a 400-foot radius, which is limiting as to what you can do. So I don't know. When I talked to the engineers, they were like, this could be an issue there. So that kind of halted that project and talked about that. So we've kind of shifted our focus because of the uncertainty of TWB over to Memorial Park to try to bring some more courts and rec facilities to the town.
So there's no pavement over there anymore.
There is
At Thornton Burgess.
there is one basketball court. I can show you right here. It is right here. It's not a full-size
Right.
court and it is also unsafe. I would love to redo this.
If you zoom out, Dan.
Yep.
So-
You can almost sense, how back it went with the discolor,
Yeah.
Right here, John, like you talked about
Yeah.
this, like-
And then more to the west is actually,
oh, like here, I see.
Yeah.
the set was there at that time.
Yeah.
All
And
that,
it's a shame that they're gone because that would be a really pre-existing thing that I
could
could
just,
That's where in the 2 structures you see there had to do with the septic system at that time. So I didn't think the well was actually that.
So this is the wellhead. This is an active well right here.
Right,
And then the other one's in the front of the building, which is right here.
right. So again, we were able to put that in there inside that circle, and that basketball court is not.
I think it's older than the change in the law. From my research.
Well,
Wow.
Gary would be the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't want to take much more of your time because I know you guys have a lot on the agenda today. I'm just here to figure out what. I guess I struggle between the notice of intent and the notice of determination, and I'd like to try to figure out the feasibility of a project in those spaces without spending a lot of money on studies and engineering. I'm trying to just get my ducks in a row in order to consider these projects. Nothing is,
Does he fall into the town? There's a town NOI. Do you guys know about that?
No.
Like, Granby has a town NOI that covers the highway department for fixing stuff within the riverfront and different things.
yeah.
Does rec fall under that same thing?
It never has.
Okay, I didn't know.
So maybe I can ask, have you, I don't know if this board or this commission has somebody come to you with projects within this area of the town before? Because I've only been here a year. So I don't know what the history is on the projects at Luna Park.
Not a project like this. I mean, we've had the purchase of the land up to the north of the park,
Yeah.
but yeah, up there.
This comes up.
Splash pad.
I wasn't here for that. I don't know about that.
Hmm.
I would suggest, without the pickleball courts, the bridge, you should do separately, whatever.
Yeah, these are, pretty much all of these would be separate projects.
Right.
Oh,
Bridge,
because I was
right
gonna
away.
say, it's easier sometimes to do everything
No,
under
I
the
know.
umbrella.
No, the bridge is different. That's a
Pre-existing.
issue.
Existing
That needs to
repair,
be
yeah.
repaired somehow.
Absolutely.
Okay,
The other things are,
Renovations.
so those could maybe be done on a RDA. Can they do, if they're existing in riverfront in a disturbed area already?
The bridge?
No,
Yeah.
the two pickleball courts,
Oh,
if they're already disturbed area.
yeah, right.
I think
Oh, so like you're
They're
thinking the
redeveloped.
disturbed area, we could go this way.
their RDA redevelopment.
The other nice thing about this area here for this, the basketball pad that's there is there's a light structure here, which I think would still work.
Yep.
We could have lit courts for minimal money.
My other thing is if you expanded like maybe 5 feet away from the brook,
This
could you make enough space around it to make it safer?
Like move the whole thing
No,
or,
expand it a little into that green area.
yeah,
yes.
absolutely. Yeah,
So-
this would buy us, because right now it's 30 feet wide and we'd really like to get 35 if we could. So if we go 5 feet this way, that, and it's, but that I don't know if that's disturbed area or not, right there. What is that?
that grass?
Grass.
And you'll lose your light bulb.
Yeah, what was the light?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which I will tell you, they talked about fixing that years ago and the police were not in favor of it.
Who?
The police?
We gotta have an electrician look at it.
They didn't want, basically, it's more work to be monitoring the park.
Yeah, because there'd be people in there at night.
oh,
Control it, yeah.
yeah.
Kind of
Well,
what.
they closed the gate.
Nuisance.
Yeah, they closed the
The
gate.
gate gets closed.
Close the gate, that's it.
Yeah,
Can't
So
drive.
the light
Yeah.
is a moot point.
yeah. So the light is a moot point, yeah.
Speaking totally selfishly, I would like to see
Yeah, I think they could.
playground
expand it that way.
expand rather
That
than,
would be the easiest.
Relocate.
Besides it getting
Relocate.
darker in the winter.
or take
Yeah.
chunks of it.
more sense, but.
They got four.
But I think you can get away, oh, well, yeah, you would take a chunk here,
Hmm.
sure.
Yep.
You'd lose this structure probably.
You could move that though.
What is that? You could move, it's a little fire truck, it's like a,
You like hop on it.
Yeah,
like wood,
climbing, like a
metal,
play area.
Like pretend they're driving kind of thing.
Yeah,
That could be.
but you take, so you extend this 9 feet, you take this out, and then you can put a new structure there that is ADA compliant, that is, safer than this, and more, and updated, but,
Yeah.
anyway,
Would you put a fence around it?
that's a great question. That's a great question.
Then people wouldn't be falling
I
off.
don't know if I'd want to play
they?
pickleball
Without
on
a-
that right next to it without a fence. Without-
Yeah. No, there's no.
Balls are gonna.
Yeah, you'd end up in the.
Right, yeah,
No offense.
Trust me.
yeah, so that,
You don't necessarily need a full cage around it either. You can do a half fence and then the back wall can be a larger fence.
Yeah, I know.
Behind the pickleball.
Yep.
How deep do you have to dig to put a fence up?
I'm not sure. That's a great question. I would guess at least 3 footers at least,
Oh,
probably.
The frost line,
Yeah.
which is 4 feet.
And then, so the other thing is, possibly doing some concrete footers for some kind of shade structure here.
Yeah.
I think those are probably, you'd have to measure it out of our jurisdiction, except for it's on
They're
conservation.
still within the 100 foot, right?
Yeah, they'd
You
be
measured 150.
close.
just over.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I mean, that's just by, I
It's
can.
inside already disturbed
Right,
existing.
right.
And putting
I don't see a problem with those.
I don't see a
No.
problem with those.
No.
Okay.
I think the kids need it.
I think the pickleball would work better down closer to the brook.
That's right.
This one here.
That one there,
It's
yeah.
a great spot for it, actually.
That was my first thought.
That's
yeah.
what I prefer.
After I looked at them with you, that was my first thought too.
And if you have to grow into that turnaround, that is not much of a sacrifice.
It's not much of a turnaround, to be honest with you.
I know, I-
Still use this,
yeah.
you can still use this as a turnaround here.
Right.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How many communities are putting in only one court?
Well, I would just say that one is better than none.
No, I got that, but I mean, if you had the opportunity to do two, I mean, maybe you're right. you'd like to see how it plays out at Thornton Burgess, which would open up the possibility for no environmental impact, as long as you could straighten out the water.
Right.
In my, yeah, as long as I can straighten out the water, if I had my druthers, I'd do a full tennis court over at Thornton Burgess with 2 pickleball courts on either side and a full basketball court, so that we can host summer league games for the spec league.
Yeah.
We'll start that big sale tomorrow.
And that brings people in. So, well, you gotta have dreams, so.
I'm just thinking like if they come in and pave it, if you dig up that, have to redo that whole area at once to make 2 in, it's sometimes cheaper to put 2 in at once than
Oh, yeah.
one by.
And then doing 2 twice.
Yeah,
It indicated that it's closed, the rec is closed after a certain hour. What's the security if you moved everything over to Thornton Burgess? What kind of security is involved?
It's open, it's just
Wide
open.
open.
I know that, well, I know that now, but that's.
Well, you wouldn't move the
Concerned about
player.
I don't think so. I think you want people there, to be honest with you. And then you just talk to the police department and have them patrol it, do more drive-throughs
Which is
of,
so easy for them, Zim's do, right?
yeah, in and out. So
And
that's,
you can actually go down Perennial Lane and see if he's.
Right.
Just as easy.
And you got neighbors right there too.
nothing.
No, I know. Saying.
So I guess if you could just lead me in the direction of my next steps to consider projects like this. It's really about, for me tonight, learning about what would be my next step with you guys, how to move forward with a project.
yeah,
NOI,
yeah.
NOI.
Notice of intent.
because you're
On both of those things?
in the resource.
The bridge
area.
and the.
Yeah.
pickleball?
Yes, yes.
NOI for both.
But the bridge
One
should
each.
be separate and,
Yep.
So NOI for bridge, NOI for courts.
yes.
NOI, do you think I'm outside of what about the shade structures possibly for the inside the splash pad?
I'm not
Yeah.
worried about.
I don't,
No,
no,
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
but I'm thinking the,
outside the 100 and
yeah,
already disturbed
The
area.
4 foot.
Yeah,
I'd almost put both pickleballs on because
Right
if you,
Yeah.
well, yeah, and maybe fix that other one so nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah.
At the same time.
yeah.
Yeah, what I would do is, this is not a full-size basketball court, so I would probably redo the pad.
Yep.
And then put a hoop here and make it a half court. So the arc would go this way, the balls won't be going in the brook, and it would just be a half court basketball court.
They'll go in the brook anyway.
I should throw it back. We've all played basketball.
Here, catch.
Oh, I play
Oops.
pickleball too. those balls are gonna be in the.
That's what
Yeah.
They used to have to run it at the
Pickleball
YMCA.
End to
Yeah.
end, is that for you, so it's both the side by side?
I don't think so. I mean,
No,
I look at Munson and stuff I thought they were more like laid out.
I've,
side to side.
some of the ones in Westfield are end to end.
Are they, okay?
Yeah,
And like whenever you have them obviously on a regulation tennis court, they're
yeah.
wise, they're
You turn them sideways.
this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So if you're not gonna do any construction on that existing basketball, court,
if there's no expansion, then no.
right, if you're just gonna move the net around,
Yeah, and that would be, so like,
Yeah.
let me just ask, if we were resealing that and flattening it, like, what does that entail? If it's an existing structure, we're gonna reseal it and reline it,
concrete,
asphalt.
Blacktop, yeah.
it's a black top, yeah.
Asphalt, yeah.
Does that,
I don't know about.
because it's,
If you're gonna, if you maybe expand it a little, you at least put it in the same NOI.
okay.
Because they're both within riverfront.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, and we would need to specify, what the hell are those things? The runoff catcher things that go before.
The soap area.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah.
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 we would have to
Yeah.
define things like that that you
Yeah.
need to.
And so if I submit the NOI to you guys, does that involve engineering plans generally, or what is the level of it's just me filling out the NOI?
Yeah, with a map like you have right
Drawing
now.
map,
Okay.
Then just describe what you want to do.
Okay. And
Would
then
it be
figure-
better if you waited until July I'm going in a lot of directions. I mean,
Well, no, he
if,
probably wants to
if
get
I
it done
had, if I had my
next
druthers,
summer.
it's not up
If
to
you
me.
could.
I would prefer it be at Thornton Burgess. But
I
then
know,
that
yeah.
requires his waiting until
Yeah.
you know what you can do
No.
there.
Well, nothing says you
necessarily.
can't have 2 pickleball courts.
No, that's not
Three,
necessarily. You can
Exactly.
still do an NOI for that. It doesn't
Yeah.
cost
Oh, it
anything.
doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Oh.
then he has what, 3 years?
Yes, 3 years.
So I submit the NOI to you guys, do you guys review it? And
We'll review it and talk
Yeah.
about it and maybe do a site survey if we need it, but
You also have to send it to the state. They have to approve it.
Okay.
And
I've looked at the form. I just,
I don't know if you would be willing to help him fill it out. No, all right. I didn't know if we could
That's fine.
work with him
Yeah.
somehow,
I'm very good about.
help him out. We're we're on the same town.
I'm not too concerned about it.
Okay, all right, okay.
I think that's the best way to go, just
Yep,
two separate NOIs.
one for the
Okay.
bridge, one for the rest of it.
So then just, I'm sorry for my newness. I submit the NOI to you. What happens after that? A complete NOI that works and I submit it to you, then what happens
well,
next?
then the state, the commission will review it, but the state also will review it. And with the NOI, you're gonna get a number,
Yeah,
173 dash,
Yeah.
whatever they're up to.
case number or whatever.
And then the state, may put in some of their own suggestions as well,
Okay.
that the commission would include in their orders of conditions.
Yeah, we'd end up putting in orders of conditions that
Yep,
you'd have to
have to
do
follow, yeah, or the construct, yeah, okay,
all of that.
right.
And it
That,
won't cost you anything to file with the town, but you're still gonna have to pay to file with the state. The NOIs go to the town and the state.
okay, it can't be that much money though.
Depends on the price of the,
Project,
yeah.
interesting.
But like if you can get some of it done through in-house through highway department,
Right,
like it's pro bono.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
So that's all I had. Thank you very much for the information. I appreciate it and your time. I know you guys are trying to get to something fun, so that's all I have. If you have other questions for me, I'm happy to answer them, but that's all I think I have for you guys. So I think I'm clear on what I need to do next, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what my goal was, so thank you.
So this is like a spring project you're trying to do, huh?
Maybe not even, it may not even be that. I think, I understand that these things take a long time, especially moving through the proper channels, so.
Yeah.
It's just really back of the napkin thing right now, things we're kicking around. TWB does factor into our decision makings, like for sure, we really, our priority list right now is probably shade structures that would be a spring.
That concerns me.
Yep, that will be too. That will be a hot,
Priority.
a priority as well. That the bridge and the two shade structures could be a spring project. So those would be, the courts are probably a longer term.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes sense.
a longer term project, given we don't know what's happening with TWB, because that could change what we do here. So.
Yeah.
We're just trying to look at all our options, I guess. Awesome. Thank you guys very much. I
You
appreciate it.
share the screen back to him.
I'm gonna stop sharing right now.
Okay, and give him back the host.
Did I work?
Yeah.
Make him host.
I did. I think that's all I had to do.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Do you have control?
Say that any form of life.
I mean, some of the work is done very well. Like the pavers, things like that. Some of that.
That's okay.
That shade is
Figure it out.
But some
a
of
big help there.
Yes,
'cause it isn't
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my
Everybody
son.
crowds in
What do we have next?
there by the,
it's called
The Grossetti's.
whatever it is. that-
Yeah.
Yeah,
For what?
nice
The
addition.
seals.
It's another informal discussion on there,
Okay,
and you have the map.
okay.
Oh, that's.
So I'm gonna open the discussion on 115 Stafford Hollow Road?
Road.
Stafford.
Stafford Road.
Stafford Road, yeah.
Hi.
State your name and,
Yeah, my name is
Hi.
Fiore Rossetti. I live at 115 Stafford Road. I think we bought the house 2 months ago, I would guess. So our intent is to put up a 30 by 40 pre-engineered metal building on the property. And because of the delay in the building permit and then everything else following through, we're putting up what started to be a temporary structure, just a carport canopy, which now has to turn into a real, need a permit for it, building permit. He doesn't believe that they're temporary. So if we're gonna spend, it's $5,000 for those, we're gonna close in 3 sides of it and create a place for the trailers to go. That is 22 by 21. So right now, we're looking to put up a 22 by 21 carport. Whether that gets closed in, I couldn't really tell you. It depends on how much time I got. And then in the springtime, start excavation for a 30 by 40 structure on the property for a 4-car garage.
So,
Where are you looking to do this?
So, when I turned into conservation, so again, I took some pictures for you guys today. Problem is, I don't know if I was supposed to have 100 copies. I wasn't sure what to present. The young lady had said, take some pictures of stakes in the ground. Problem is, even though you take stuff in color, the printer only does black and white. So I'll be more than happy to pass the pictures around. People get an idea of, so the problem is, I thought I could do some more with this tablet. I brought it just in case. Is there any possibility of throwing up 115 Stafford Road? So I give you an idea of the aerial or the map of the house. So if you guys wanna.
We have.
Yeah, so you got that. So basically, but I mean, I'll kind of show you guys. So basically what we have is, the house is here. And then the house is, yeah, that's my house. No, that's my house.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna put the intent is to put the 4-car garage in the back right corner of the house. So, there is a metal carport right here that is going, opposite direction of the house. So when it comes in, I'll give you guys a better understanding of it. So is that 115?
Hopefully, sure.
So.
Allison is gonna.
115.
Carport.
Stafford?
Yes, sir. SBAFFORD.
I can't clean.
Yeah.
Look, you're all.
And I
Look, you're all my
apologize.
way.
Like I said, I have maps. They're in there with the other zone change or whatever you want to call it, which was passed. So my house
so he has a
is
file that he can, right?
that one right
Yeah, no.
there. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Can you zoom in on that?
yeah, that's it. 'Cause
Yeah, that's my house right here. So, basically, traffic comes up, it's a pretty long extended driveway, and then there's a big circle here. The problem is this tree blocks a lot, and there was a massive tree right here, and there's a carport here that sits, you can just see the tip of it. There's one that sits this way. There was a pool in the back, that's gone, the deck's gonna be replaced, that's a shed. So right now, I had to put up 2 temporary tents right here. So I could put the 40 by 30 building here. Originally, that was where my leach field was. When the owner of the house had to replace the leach field, they decided to put it along a handicap ramp, which does me good because now I can get in my backyard with vehicles without having to drive over anything in my yard. So I could put the 40 by 30 here, but my intent is to put it here. But again, the wellhead is about here. So I can't really start in front of the wellhead because then I'm covering the wellhead line going into the house. So I'd have to start from about the wellhead back.
Okay.
So that would put the building, there is a porch in the back that you're seeing there. It's like a 9-foot porch. It would probably put the building 6 or 8 feet back off the corner. But I still need to keep inside of the wellhead line. So we're looking at like a good chunk of the backyard, to be honest with you, is gonna be gone because of the size of the building. It's a good sized building. And like I said, if I don't put it there, the temporary garage is gonna go here. That will get dragged to this area here where the temporary tents are. And that will turn into a permanent structure here. Through a building permit, and then, or I can leave the temporary the carport there. And depending on what the excavator says, because this has more of a slope, I'd have a lot more backfilling to do. It's Hampden, there's boulders the size of trucks, so I don't know what's gonna happen when we go over there. The yard has been heavily excavated, there's boulders lining.
So where's your new leach field?
My leach field is now right here in front of the house, literally almost up against the, I think by code it has to be 25 feet off the house.
Is that the leach field or the septic tank?
My septic tank is actually, let's call it 10 feet off the house.
Oh, all right.
And then at 25 feet, the leach field starts going
But it's right
parallel to
there.
the house. So the leach field is right here right now.
Okay.
The tank is here. There's a
okay.
handicap ramp going up. And then the tank is right here along the driveway. Well, the driveway does a U, but it's in the dirt.
Mhm.
And then the leach field now goes here. It used to be way over here. So I've put the temporary tents on the old leach field is what I ended up doing.
Yeah.
And that's where I could put the garage or the carport, one of the two. I can swap them just as easy.
What's the grassed area with all the gray there?
This thing here?
No, right next to the house, right,
This?
no, up above, right in there. What's that?
Oh, lots of boulders. So they left truck-sized boulders. There's probably 3 small truck ones and a bunch of little boulders. So my intent is to move what we can out of there and then use that if we have to fill over here. Based on maybe where the foundation is, we could just save on fill and lose a lot of the boulders. There's a huge string of boulders running through that whole area now. Which I actually don't have to.
To move the boulders and put the building there, so it's already in disturbed grass area.
I don't think he's even in resource area.
He's not in any of it.
Well,
Yeah,
he would be if he went back with the
he went
trees
further,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure I was coming for the conservation because
Yeah.
I'm
If you're in this
staying,
area,
I'm all in here.
Yeah.
Listen, so let me show you guys what,
Conservation,
so here's
that's
if you want to pass these.
That's
So
national heritage.
basically, let me come around and I'll
Yeah.
kind of walk through it. So
Yeah, so
what you're looking at in that picture is this whole area of clearness. So what you're
Yes.
looking at in the original map is my driveway coming up and that's the woods.
Just looking.
This
back.
wood line, as you can see, makes a sharp angle. And it comes to
Right.
you,
Here,
Right.
and then it comes back down the driveway. So I'm putting the garage
probably that.
right here along but the house is like, so this one shows you where the house is. If you kind of, I got better maps.
Seeing it from it.
Let me put this in better perspective. Like I said, I wasn't prepared,
Houses.
so I really didn't know what
That's
to
a-
show you guys.
But
Dave,
you have more stuff than most of them.
I said they made
That's
us.
the building.
Yeah.
Down.
yeah, in any of the grassed area.
Yeah, so if you look at this, there's the building right there. I'm just going off the back corner of the building.
Mhm.
But again, the problem is this doesn't show you what this shows you. But this is probably,
Putting in those,
so I have a 200-foot frontage. This is probably, my driveway is,
I don't know.
typical 1.5 wide.
There it is.
But when you look in the town map, if we
That
pull,
wooded marsh and.
I got the town map right here.
That's what this is.
Got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what that is,
Yeah.
right. So the house is kind of like can I see that pen for a minute? My house is like right here. This is where the house is. It's here. So the garage is kind of gonna go like right here.
Okay.
And then the carport thing,
That's
or the 2 temporary tents are over.
Right there.
Actually, I mean, this isn't, because that's not 100 feet. I'm 125 feet. So there, in perspective, it's like over here. So, but from the corner of the house to that is 60 feet maybe.
So until you get back here where the blue hatching is.
Yep.
This is.
We're not
Stay
involved.
away.
Dude, that's like,
You're okay.
Yeah.
I'm hunting back there. Let me put it that way. It's, yeah.
That's
Probably have to file with,
okay.
but they're probably gonna say he's outside of it and there will be no negative impact.
Of this.
Yeah,
The only
Yeah, the
issue-
wetlands,
the
I
only
don't think I
issue
have a
that you're
problem.
gonna have
Natural
is all
heritage.
these lines, that's national heritage.
Right, and that's what was
another-
weird is how does at least with me, my driveway isn't included in a bunch of lines. It's,
No, they
right, yeah.
but
they
yeah,
go around your.
but this
property.
guy's, all these other houses this guy has no driveway.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
I don't
weird
know.
the way they do that.
I don't know.
So, yeah, that's what threw me off when I said I'm coming to conservation. I'm like, the wetlands is way in the back.
Yeah.
And I did see the young lady explained the town implements a 25-foot or vice versa.
From.
When the state has 100 or,
Yeah.
I'm nowhere, listen,
Yeah,
I'm,
right. You're nowhere
I'm
near it.
1,700
That's what
feet
this is.
here. And I think I'm probably 800 feet before I hit the beginning of that blue zone,
Yeah.
So the only thing you need to worry about is national
National
heritage.
heritage.
So I apply to the state for something or I go through you to.
I have the address.
Okay. And
So
then they
does
can
he
tell them
still
I'm
have to
building-
file
So,
RDA?
RDA?
NOI or RDA or anything?
So basically, guys, here's, just to be clear, and I'll try to collect all my papers later. Alls I'm trying to do when you look at, who's got the pipe? Okay, right here. So I showed where this is all the, okay. So when you're looking at this thing right here, here's the house, here's the carport. Basically, I'm trying to go in the back over here. Let me show you some different perspectives of, okay, so these two trucks are actually sitting on, I got the timber frames laying there for the carport. So, that's where the two cars are gonna go, which is right here in this picture. So there's massive boulders lying over here. There was a fence all the way through and a massive tree, but the tree was like, it's just a detriment to the house. So see the massive boulders? I'm all inside of anything that's ever been cleared. I'm all on cleared property, you know? So see it there? There's like 50 feet of boulders in the back corner coming from
Clearing them out.
halfway through, you know? So, yeah, so I even got one looking from the backyard. Here it is right here. So there's the boulder line, the fence line. I'm just looking to when I get done, my garage has to come back 3 more poles. So I'm like taking almost half my backyard. So,
30 by 40?
yeah. So our discussion with my wife, she wanted to kill me on the way over, was, why can't we put it out in front? So we're gonna, if I'm not dead, I'm gonna submit my application to the state.
If you think it's actually staying with this, in this clear
I
area,
think when you look at the aerial map,
if,
I'm a smidgen in the
Okay.
green with the big structure.
okay, then you
It's a
do
big
have to go
structure.
through
It's like
national heritage, because
10
that
feet
is
in it.
part of that. If you put
They'll
it in
let you
the
know.
front,
They'll let you know.
if you move it in the front over here, then you definitely have to contact national heritage.
Right.
If you stayed within that,
Well,
Then
even
Because of
in
the
front-
accuracy of this, you should go to National Heritage.
And that's fine. I don't have a problem going to them. Like I said, even in the front, I'll be honest with you guys, I believe where this clearing is, again, when I looked at different maps, it's a lot clearer of where my house is and where proportion it is. But I agree with you, right? Why
Yeah.
bother? Just apply for a variance in 2 zones or whatever I'm gonna do.
Yep.
so as far as where you put it, doesn't really
Yeah,
matter
doesn't
to
matter.
us, as long as you stay within that
It's,
and get approval by national heritage.
So I'll apply to there
You're
tomorrow.
well
But you still, Tom, I think you still need to do a site inspection
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I know.
definitely.
Oh, I know, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
with the corners
Oh,
stake.
Mark, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure.
RDA, because it's Nifty's. I'm not sure on that
Oh,
one.
because he's in natural heritage?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm guessing he has to file RDA.
Yeah,
what is that?
Do we have an RDA form to look at to see if it?
I had him in the back of your,
Yeah.
Because does it have, does it
empty-
show if there's a Nifty's?
anybody got one in the back of your folder?
An old one.
I'm just putting stuff where
People were asking about,
building department. They're gonna flip it.
not recently though.
Yeah, I know.
Like, the guy's like, we mailed it to you, the one that says, I'm like.
Well, he could get it right online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 5 weeks go by, I'm waiting for my
I
rejection.
was just
They mailed the next day, I'm like.
wanted to find out if he has to.
They already-
do
Get in, I- Till
He's
December.
not going back into swamp area.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your time.
No worries.
Like I said, I don't need,
You know what, I'm gonna, give me a minute, I'm gonna go down and,
we can do this tomorrow, man. Enjoy your evening. Go
Yeah.
take care of your business. Tomorrow's another day. I
right.
need to take up any more time. I'm not in the wetlands area, but I saw, remember you said to me, pretty much 90% of Hampden's is endangered species and endangered plants. So I'm like, the guy's driveway to the picture. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then once you file and you get a plan
Yeah.
and you get the corner staked or whatever, then we'd come out and do an
It's
inspection.
basically we want to know if you're in a resource area.
Oh, you gave him a blank one? Did you check and see it? Does it say Nifty's on there?
I'll double check the form tomorrow. I'll stop in.
Because we were trying to figure out if he can get away with RDA.
I don't see why he's gonna.
I just,
I don't either.
I don't know what RDA stands.
I don't think.
Request for
no one-
determination.
Yes.
Oh,
all these acronyms.
request for termination, okay. Well,
You have most of the information already for the determination, you know, your pictures and all.
okay. Yeah,
I'm not seeing it, but take a look.
Do we have a copy of NOI?
No.
Because there's somewhere on one of the forms where it asks you.
There's a filled out one in here,
Yeah,
right there.
Protection.
Are you gonna stop in at the office?
yeah, I'll stop in tomorrow. So like I said, if you
Okay,
want to hang on to that one, do you want me to take it so I can print it tonight when I'm having my coffee?
As his coffee.
Because
Coffee at night.
one of
Yeah.
the,
9:30 every night, man,
You're
10
back.
o'clock.
helps you sleep, right?
Exactly. It
Does not
doesn't bother me. Yeah.
Doesn't bother me either. I can, anytime.
I love my coffee and I tried a blueberry coffee the other day and I'm not freaking.
this goes,
It was,
Brings you up for 5 minutes.
Sounds
good. I do not like at the bank. I went to the bank. I'm like,
because,
"I got sweet coffee."
Bring me one home.
because
Find it.
it may have to be a NOI. Not sure. I'm trying to figure out where that is. We lived right.
Not necessarily. Removing trees.
You've been in.
Okay, see, NOI has to do with, see, NOI
mhm.
talks about applicants for
There.
species act, or what, so act review. Okay, so that, it's in this one,
Oh, it was.
under C.
Yeah.
So, yes, you know.
He may have to do an NOI because it talks about rare species habitat.
NOI is the easiest thing to do anyway.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Well, I mean, it's.
I mean, a lot of times you need engineers.
Let's see you tomorrow.
All right. You gotta pay for it too.
Just preliminarily, it looks like it might be an NOI.
And
Notice of
Yeah,
intent.
notice of intent.
so you send them a notice of intent or that's for you guys?
You sell one to us and one to the state, and then there's a firm, the Mass Heritage. All
It's on.
Okay, I will stop at the department tomorrow. and-
Yeah.
right, okay. Right.
Do you, can I take that, sheet that you just were gonna give me?
Well, that might not be applicable.
Yeah.
You might need the notice of intent.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Pull up their own property on that. and-
Because you know.
Money like that put on there and.
Are we doing the COC now?
More information.
We could do that real quick
Yeah.
because John left for 15 minutes.
Yeah, all right. You have a,
Yes, I mean, that's,
All right.
this is fun.
okay, we're gonna end the discussion on 15 Stafford Road, 115 Stafford.
150.
And we're moving on to the COC requested for work at 546, 548 Main Street at Casabella.
Yeah.
Did anybody do any site visits?
Yeah, I went and looked at it after, or just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
Greg, did you go out?
I didn't go.
I did.
And he did too.
Did you guys look at
We
the
didn't- we
order of
weren't together.
conditions?
No, I had no idea what I was looking at.
I
I
mean,
just
I know
looked.
the.
Tom was
history
there.
Of it, I was involved in.
Yeah,
He was original.
And
I looked at it long ago and first
yeah,
problem first came up.
basically, it's done. It's just, that's what they're,
And it's revegetated.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And
everything
there's a
looks
fence.
stable?
Yep,
Okay,
they put up the fence like
Except
they
for
were.
the fence.
Well, yeah, they said
It's-
they were told that they didn't need a permanent massive fence or anything. The
Right,
fence is just to
right.
keep the snow plows from pushing the snow into
Oh,
the
is it?
water, into the
Okay.
river, which is what they were doing.
okay,
So,
all right. Okay,
All
so,
right, I have 2 certificates of compliance to sign, one for the
Yeah.
office and one for them.
so do we have to, we need to take a vote?
You do need to take a vote.
So vote on whether we will sign the certificate of compliance
To
for,
issue it.
to issue it for 546, 548 Main Street.
Second.
I vote yeah.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Anybody in favor? Aye.
Tom says it's good, good enough for me.
Okay.
John had to leave for a couple minutes, something about his mother-in-law, so, after this is the, Zoom with the, VHB and the
Oh,
notice of intent for
for the bridge?
the bridge over
I know
the
I
Ballard
think
Brook.
I've seen this presentation, but,
That's not the same bridge.
okay,
Saw the one further south.
I
of
did,
the
same
Main
area,
Street
different.
bridge.
Oh,
So we can't open the meeting till we open them.
One.
Are they on? Do we know if they're on?
Yes, hello.
Yay, I guess that answers that question.
Our Zoom operator had to leave for a few minutes, but he's coming back.
okay.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so I'm gonna close the hearing. Is it hearing on the COC?
Yeah, because it was a notice of, it was a violation.
Okay, so I'm closing the hearing on 446, 548 Main Street, and now I'm opening the NOI submitted by VHB representing the town of Hampden for the Ballard Brook Bridge repair. So I assume you're going to give us, one of you is going to give us a synopsis of the,
Yes, it looks like I can share screens, so I'll go ahead.
That's what they're doing.
You tell me if you can see that.
yes,
Yes, we can see that.
Great.
you identify yourself too, please.
Yes, absolutely. So let me just, there we go, so I can see you. There we go. Yes, so presenting here today, my name is Olivia Richards. I'm the project manager for this bridge project. I'm a structural engineer, and with me I have Bridget. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bridget Hogendorf. I'm the environmental scientist on this project with VHB.
Great, and I'll just keep going here. So this project is bridge repairs at South Road over Ballard Brook. If any of you have gone by there lately, you see the barriers have been up in the shoulders on that bridge for some time, and this project is going to replace that superstructure of the bridge and get it all reopened again. And we are presenting on behalf of the Highway Department. The applicant we're working with is Mark, the highway superintendent.
And it's not a.
Mark's not here.
Okay, I'll keep going. So our project site, South Road Bridge over Ballard Brook, this pretty old bridge built in 1938. The town actually received a Mass DOT small bridge grant to fund the. Sorry, should I stop? There's a lot of.
Right there.
No, go ahead.
No, keep
Go ahead.
going.
Just,
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I'll turn this down. So the town received a grant from Mass DOT last year. It's called a small bridge grant, and the DOT will actually fund the design of the bridge, and the DOT will give the town $500,000 to contribute to replacing or building, repairing the bridge in this case. So the town received this award. We are working on the design. It is currently in review by MassDOT, and here we are trying to get permits in place to keep going with the project. So basically, the project is consisting of replacing the bridge beams and the deck on top. So it's just that top portion of the bridge, and not the foundation. And we'll get into that a little more. So here, looking at some pictures of that existing bridge that's out there now, this opening over the stream, the brook here is 12 feet. So the bridge is of 12-foot span, and the bridge is about 34 feet wide, and that's the width of the roadway, the out to out of the bridge. The bridge deck's in poor condition. The bridge beams are actually in serious condition. Those exterior beams on each side of the bridge have some holes in the steel. There's a reason there are barriers on top of them preventing cars from driving over them. And then there's some various concrete deterioration, some what we call spalls, some areas that need some patching. Okay, Bridget.
Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, just here to highlight some of the wetland resources in this area. Obviously, the bridge is going over Ballard Brook, which supports bank, land underwater bodies and waterways, and that 200-foot riverfront area since it is perennial. There's also the 100-foot buffer to bank and the local 25-foot no disturb. And in proximity to the site, those buffer zones in the riverfront area, they primarily consist of the existing paved roadway and the bridge, of course, as well as the disturbed roadside, which pretty much consists of the adjacent residential properties. And these pictures here, you can see on the left is just the stream southwest of the bridge, and the picture, or southeast, sorry. And the picture on the right just shows the stream continuing northwest of the bridge.
Great. So proposed work here, like I said, we're planning to replace what we call the superstructure of the bridge. That's the beams and the deck on top of the beams, the railings, the curbs. So that top portion will come off the bridge, and we drop a new one in of almost exact same size, essentially. And then that substructure, that bridge foundation, concrete, there are some little areas that need some patching. So it will include some patching to that concrete. Basically, that superstructure will be replaced with what we call concrete deck beams. They're solid concrete beams that line up and abut each other. Got some drawings of that. And that existing opening over the stream will remain the same because we're just taking that like top bridge portion off and dropping a new piece in. And so we won't need to be digging up the stream, digging in the waterway to replace any of the foundations. The foundations will remain. So we'll have new railings, new pavement approaching the bridge, and then just some repairs, like I mentioned, to the substructure, and keeping that all kind of above the water line, above the ground line, no excavation. And then at the end of the project, seeding, slope stabilization in those areas leading up to the bridge. And so looking here, this is from our plans, this side view, the highlighted area is, this is the portion of the bridge that we'd be removing. So like I was saying, this whole foundation, this is all to remain. When you look at the picture, it does look like a very small bridge, but based on those existing plans, there's pretty deep, big footings that extend well below that ground line that you see. So it's very, very stable, well-built bridge. So we have no intention of digging any of this up. Just take this top piece off and drop in a new one. And those wing walls, the tops of the wing walls will cut off and put that new curb on for a new railing. And so then this is the bridge. If you're driving over the bridge, this is what you'll see now, maintaining that same width of the bridge, new railings on either side. And this is what the new beams would look like. They're these concrete beams that butt up against each other. Okay.
And just putting this work into the context of within each resource area, looking at the bank, there'll be approximately 104 linear feet of temporary impact. But as Olivia mentioned, the only work on the bank will be along the man-made concrete foundations, and that will just consist of those concrete repairs. So no work on the naturally occurring bank is proposed. Again, there's no impacts to land underwater bodies or waterways. There'll be no excavation as part of the project. And work within riverfront area will result in approximately 3,879 square feet of temporary impacts. And that'll include much of the work within the existing paved roadway. So repaving the bridge, repaving the approaching roads, as well as installing erosion controls and any stabilization along those adjacent areas to the road. There will also be around 471 square feet of permanent impacts to the riverfront, and that will largely be from the installation of new guardrails on the approaching either side of the bridge. Next slide. So this just gives a visual of where the work is taking place. So the large pink area, that shows work within the riverfront. And so you can see here within the riverfront, it'll be limited to the inner 100 feet. So this is also shown within the 100-foot buffer zone. The 25-foot no disturb is shown in that green or teal hatching over the pink. So again, the work in this zone will be similar to that within the riverfront. It all overlaps. And the bank is highlighted in red. And again, this bank just consists of those concrete foundations. And of course, there'll be mitigation measures in place, erosion and sedimentation control plan. This will include erosion control barriers, so compost filter tubes and silt fences as deemed appropriate. We are also proposing to install debris containment measures like tarps or netting to be attached to the abutments below the bridge, and this would span the waterway to catch any debris that may fall during construction. There is also tree protection measures. There's one large tree in close proximity to the project, so these would be installed to protect that tree. And as Olivia mentioned, areas of disturbance adjacent to the road will be loaned and seeded after the completion of work.
For stormwater management, our pavement limits are just going back to where they were. The shape of the new bridge is almost exactly the same as the one that we're taking out. So we're really not increasing any impervious surface areas. We are just taking out this kind of failing bridge, popping in a brand new one and paving over, smooth everything out and putting new railings, new guardrail leading up to it. So I believe there are 2 catch basins on the site, just before the bridge, and those will just be, we won't touch those. Those will continue to function as they are now, and we don't plan on changing anything with the stormwater measures. We don't want to increase impacts and change anything. Everything's functioning fine.
And just to wrap up, looking at some of the regulatory context for the work, again, along the bank, work will be limited to those man-made structures. So the work won't degrade the physical stability of the bank or the carrying capacity, water quality, or habitat associated with this resource. Again, those abutments will stay in place. They will not be expanded. And work within riverfront area is unavoidable given the nature of the project being repairs to the existing bridge. But the majority of work will be limited to the existing paved roadway and bridge footprint. As Olivia said, there will be no changes to the drainage patterns, and any areas of disturbance along the roadside will be loamed and seeded following the completion of work.
All right, so any questions?
The abutments underneath the superstructure, you said those are completely fine? The 100-year-old abutments?
Minor repairs, I think she said.
All right.
Yeah, just the corners of
Yeah.
the abutments right under the beam seat have the concrete has spalled off in the corners, so some patching to that area in within a couple feet below the beams. Otherwise, they are fine. Which is
They're
not
fine?
that and this isn't that abnormal. A lot of as long as that concrete has good air entrainment when it was cast, it's been good conditions. This one's pretty well sheltered. It's not getting a lot of salt on it. It's, in terms of deterioration, it's in very good condition. And then if you see in this picture, it's very well embedded below grade. So what you see out there is only 3 feet, and then there's another 6-7 feet below grade. So stability wise, it's great for me to analyze this. It's very stable. It's very embedded.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So yeah.
So we would need to close the hearing and then, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, John Flynn from the Select Board. Basically, how long do you think this project's gonna take?
The plan is like one season, as long as we get approval from MassDOT in time and they approve the town. We're in the process of applying for the construction phase portion of the funding.
Mhm.
So if we can get all that in line, I'd like to advertise the project by April, and then it would be this summer of construction, and it would be over by like end of October, I think at the latest. And then I know this is a little off topic, but the way we're handling it, because I know this road heads into Connecticut and then it's a narrow dirt road, we keep the road open, and this road is very wide, luckily, that we can keep. We're gonna replace one side at a time. So we keep one side open, one lane of traffic alternating, and then flip to the other side.
Well, that was kind of the next question. I know, talking to Mark, and you've been working with, Mark quite a bit on this,
I don't have.
and we have the other road
DEP.
projects, there's bridge projects in town as well.
I don't have any.
Obviously, I mean, you can go into Connecticut, but it's extremely difficult as a.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You might as well pack a
It's
lunch.
not a,
Okay. Maybe.
So
not a main thoroughfare.
It's not exactly, yeah. Well, back in the 1800s,
Oh, I
it
know.
was fine, Tom.
Yeah, I know. With your horse and buggy, yeah.
Can't get the horse across.
I know.
Could there be any widening? Are we talking, I know, working with DOT on the Rockadundy Bridge project, they were talking putting a bike lane in over there.
Oh.
Is there any widening here for this type of pedestrian as well?
No, not for this one. If it's a Mass DOT project and Mass DOT is paying for construction, then you tend to get more of that slow but very thorough process, and the bridge maybe is about this wide, and then at the end of it, it's about this wide. You get the bike lanes and the sidewalks and everything. When the town is paying for it, I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to go that way, but Mass DOT only gives $500,000. So,
One second, Olivia.
sorry.
We're not paying for it.
But construction, you only get 500,000 from the state for a small
We were
bridge.
told from the get-go, this bridge was gonna cost us nothing.
I don't know who would have said
Mark.
that.
Mark, you said this was covered on the small bridge project.
In terms of design, and then construction, we get 500,000. So as long we can try to keep the scope of the project under 500,000 as much as we can.
Okay, no,
How much is it
not
gonna?
to put you on the spot, is it possible?
I gotta check where we're at. I think I forget what I last told them. I'm trying really hard to keep under 500,000, but whatever.
We're talking the total construction, I mean.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take a look. I'll send Mark an updated estimate of what
We
we're
got bake
looking
sales for every other project in town. That's fine.
at. I have also, and I know I'm getting super off topic, but I have, if bids come in a little higher, we can talk to the state. They're very willing to work to get a project going for towns like you guys, where you don't have as many resources to be paying for bridges.
Unfortunately, we just opened a bid for an expansion of our water district, and it came in under our budgeted amount, which
Great.
was shocking.
Yay, wow.
So maybe the worm has turned a bit, and we're seeing a little bit of they're sharpening their pencils and going after projects now, so.
Yep. I saw that last summer, and every year is unpredictable, so fingers crossed.
Okay, great, thank you.
Do you have any comments from DEP? We have not seen anything.
Good question. Bridget, did we?
We did not receive any comments from DEP. We did submit the NOI to Natural Heritage, and we're still in that 30-day period waiting for any comments back from them.
We gotta wait.
Okay. So
But we have not heard anything to date.
okay, so we need to continue. So
Mhm.
I need to make a motion to continue it to January. What's the date? January?
January will be 15.
So I make a motion that we continue it to January 15th. hoping we get DEP comments by then.
And natural heritage.
Natural heritage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you
Okay.
for your time. I think we're all set to next meeting.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
They give me. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't send around both of them. I have, another certificate of compliance to sign. The one that you signed, I told you that it was for Casabella, but it was actually for, bedrock on lot, 93. And lot 93 is actually lot 1 now, I believe, but they didn't even fall under the notice of intent. But the attorney for the couple that are buying that lot he wants a certificate of compliance anyway. So
Where is that?
it's on Chapin Road, bedrock.
Where they had lot 1 and lot 3 and then they rezoned, did all that other crap.
This is that other Al Joyce
Aljoy.
question you had, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, I have 2 more for you to sign, sorry.
Okay.
You have the minutes too.
Oh. Now we have the NOI lot.
Oh, no,
We
that's,
can't do that.
no, because that, just came in today.
So it hasn't been published, so we can't. do
No,
anything with it.
no.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I signed in the wrong place.
We got it, the minutes and then.
Oh, yes. All right.
What?
We got minutes? Do you
Yes.
want me to read the minutes?
No, they all have,
Okay.
just have to vote on them. They're from, last November 20th.
I missed.
No, you were here.
I was- Thought I missed one. Oh, all right. Right. All right. November, what's the date?
November 20th,
The minutes, did
2024.
anybody see any corrections that need to be done? I make a motion to accept the minutes as typed.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who seconded that?
I did. Guilty as charged.
Okay. And next. Greg, you want to present your mom?
Sure. There's a new request for a addition to the Conservation Commission. My mother, Marilyn D'Agostino, she's lived in this town for 40 plus years in the same house. And she's done a lot of additions and work on her property and,
Yeah, especially the one in Maine, which was
yeah,
that was a whole new experience for us because we weren't grandfathered with anything and everything had to go through the Department of Water and everything, the state. Everything had to be, on paper. And there, even though there were a lot of people up there where they were putting in wells and septic systems without approval. My brother worked for Department of Maine, what is civil engineer.
Civil engineer.
So it's like, no way, Mom, we do it the right way. So I did learn a lot.
Mm.
So I'm still learning, and I appreciate the opportunity to learn as I meet with all of you, and your experience. I would hope to gather some from that as well.
And what kind of assistance do you think you can help us with?
Only my presence at this point.
Okay.
And my willingness to
Fair enough.
learn as I'm engaging in these meetings and asking questions. And I had been a high school English teacher in Ludlow High School, so for many years. So I do have a mind for research and for opportunity to learn and acquire new skills. So
Well, writing too.
Mm. Yeah.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, yes. So that's a skill right there.
She always red marked all my papers.
they hated it. They hated it.
So what do I do? Make a motion?
Yeah, just to accept it as a associate member.
Okay, so. All right, I make a motion to accept Marilyn as an associate member of the conservation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. You're in. All right.
Hey,
Sorry.
How do you join?
so we have Liz here who's very interested in joining. You have a very extensive outdoor career. Lots of knowledge about at least the outside world and being out there.
Also, my father was the president of town council. My town, I grew up in New Jersey, so not from here. My husband and I moved here a year ago, but my family is the only family that ever lived in our house, and our town is not unsimilar to Hampton. And my dad's been on the Board of Ed, town council, you name it. And both of my parents are professors. My dad actually also taught English, and I also had to help people with their papers. But yeah, I've taught outdoor education, work with kids for a long time. And I know a lot about the woods, and I would like to know more. And we live just up the road in a really cool old house, and I would even love to learn more about that property and just, yeah, got some youthful energy, and I'm here to,
There is a historic
Help.
commission here in town too.
Yeah.
yes,
What house do you live in? Where?
271 North Road. It's next to the horse, when you go up this road, when it plateaus, and there's the horse farm. It's like the little red and yellow. Somebody on the phone told me that it was one of the oldest houses in town.
Oh, you talked to
Was it
me
you? I
about
believe
the,
so. Yes,
what you
yes.
have, knotweed or something, right?
Yeah, Japanese knotweed.
Yeah.
It's all over, and I have been, oh my God.
I have it.
And I have landscaper friends, and I've been trying to figure out, ethical ways to deal with it, but it is a beast.
Yep.
For sure.
The plant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it supposedly cures,
Bamboo.
Yeah.
Very
Illegal
invasive.
plant, actually,
Right.
and
Oh, yeah.
it is
Very
invasive.
invasive.
Anything. Yeah.
My back is covered.
It takes over the wetlands actually on my property. We have the stream that grows up.
yeah.
The red house.
Takes over
The
everything.
red house
Yeah.
is kind of
It's not.
across from like.
What's your last
house
name?
was a little bit further.
Holiardi, a coup.
All right. Here, all right, there we go. All right, I'll have you write it down.
The old,
You're at the bottom of the dingle there in Ballard's house.
is that what his name was?
Yeah, and there was. Sorry, I live next door. I did. I grew up.
Next
House
door.
there for
In
sale.
Phil's house?
Hmm?
Next door in the house that Phil lived, there's a gentleman, Phil.
No, that's the other way. So coming
So
up
you
the
lived in
road
the
towards
horse-
the cows.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my parents' house that's for sale right now.
Yes, yes. We
Yeah,
just
and
got the
then-
thing in the mail about it.
Yeah, and then, next
a
door, my
beautiful
brother
house.
just sold the
Oh, that's a
house next
gorgeous
to you coming
house.
up the hill. That's the second oldest house in town,
Yeah, yeah,
1792.
yeah.
So the lady has the rake.
Is mine the oldest? No,
No.
they said
But
it
the
was,
one on
it was out
South
there
Road
though.
It has it by a year or something like that.
Yeah,
No.
it's still cool.
That was so much, that weeping willow they had in the yard. that-
Don't even tell me that willow tree cracked the week that we moved in there. And then it went over the power lines and we didn't even know, I mean, a first time homeowner, I didn't know if we were responsible how to deal with that. I mean, it was, but I think it's coming back.
Good, I mean, you used to
I
have a
think
beautiful,
it's coming
you used to have
back.
a beautiful barn there.
Just have a good root structure, I would think. at this
I mean, this
I
thing is
digress.
old. It is like this wide.
Mhm.
One thing that was funny though, as we had to slowly pull some of the pieces out, there was an antique a wheelbarrow stuck under it that we
Oh.
got out. That's very cool. But I think the tree is coming back. I'm praying. But
So
yeah,
how
anyway,
many
just thanks for having me.
associates?
Can you, write your last?
You can have up to
Sure,
three,
sure.
Right?
Huh?
I think you can have up to three.
Oh, I was gonna say two.
Okay,
Well, now we have two.
yeah.
If Liz is interested.
Do you want to officially become an associate? Or do you want to come see some more for a while?
I mean, I would love, I mean, so y'all meet once a month, as I
Yeah.
understand, and then there's on-site visits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I currently, my husband works full-time, but I am a stay-at-home mom and his schedule permits me to be able to do these meetings without struggle. And I think you had mentioned at one point that I could potentially, he's a really friendly, really cute little kid that likes walking around in the woods if it
Oh,
was a
yeah,
day that
depends
he.
on the site.
Depends on
Yeah.
the site for sure.
Yeah.
But I have a flexible schedule.
Yeah,
I
okay.
basically sell soap online and crochet
Okay.
goods, so.
I mean, most of the site visits this time of year, which
Right.
there aren't many.
Yeah.
Try to
Linda.
do on a Saturday.
We're gonna,
That's easy.
because
But-
that wasn't,
Other
said we're
times.
gonna have to wait till the
Okay.
next week.
All right, okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I taught outdoor education
Yeah,
for the Y for
but-
years. You name it.
Okay, sure.
So I just found out we have to actually publish it with the notice to,
So then like next meeting.
Yeah.
yeah, which we'll
Sure, sure.
discuss it
No
again.
problem.
Okay.
And sometimes we do have to meet twice a month,
Yeah, that's.
Okay,
occasionally.
depending.
Yeah, yeah.
Rare.
We have a big solar project that hasn't filed yet or refiled,
sure.
and they
I'm a
take up
good
a lot of
neighbor, too.
time.
Sure.
Yep.
I can
Yeah.
do that. You know,
Good.
I really need something in my
I'm not
life
looking
since I'm
forward to
mostly
it.
just with the baby and my yarn and love the environment and I like, you know, we did just move here and even just getting to know the town better. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
this is great for y'all to let me.
Good,
join
Excellent.
and help out.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Liz.
The younger
Yeah,
the better now
yes,
too.
yeah.
The younger people that.
North Road is the best road in town, in my opinion.
When I first drove up it, tears came in my eye when I saw the library, the school, and then it plateaued and I saw the mountains and I was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh,
We used to have,
like a James Taylor song. I was like, oh my God.
yeah, we used to go to sunrise service up there.
No.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I did that for
Sasma.
years with my family.
I haven't really done
What's that?
trails here yet.
Right?
Gravel Mountain.
All right, so I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right.